world full of Uniteds.
It is a magic moment from Heung-min Son!
Cities.
Through to Lucas Moura!
And Rovers.
Harry Kane! Oh, what a goal!
There is only one Hotspur.
It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur!
Hello and welcome back to the One Hotspur podcast. I'm Tobey from Spurs Center, and today I am joined by Bodhi, Max, Louis, Charles, and for the very first time on this podcast, we are joined by Alfred. How you doing, Alfred?
Welcome,
I'm good,
Alfred.
thanks. Thank you for
Welcome, Alfred.
having me.
Everyone, put in the comments #Welcome Alfred.
Let's jump right into it. So we're going to start off today by reviewing the 1-0 loss against Pacos de Ferreira. I think that's how you say it. It could be Paco or Paco de
Pacos,
Ferreira.
like
I'm not entirely sure.
Stars. Yeah, it's like that. It's near
But Louis, I guess we'll go to you first. What were your thoughts on the game, and where do you think we went wrong?
Appalling.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
And,
where were the problems for you? Where were like the problem spots?
it was a young squad because obviously Europe. But I have something very sad. I will be going to the second leg on Thursday, so screw me.
Well, you're going to be watching the epic comeback, so it's Amsterdam 2.0.
My dad said that we'll win 4-2 in aggregate, apparently. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I think having such a young squad definitely impacted the team. But I think it was the fact that it was a mix of such a young squad and the senior players. And that's the first time many of them have played together.
People that have just finished or doing their A-levels or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you're getting, I think there was
Max.
4 people
Same
who
as
made their
Max.
first team start last night. So, Niall John, Dane Scarlett, Brian Heel, and Romero all getting their first starts in Spurs. I think it just looked disjointed. But Alfred, what did you think about the game?
Honestly, I only watched the second half, but yeah, I felt like when we need to do like substitutes and stuff, like we had like this, everyone was like 18 years old on the bench.
Yeah,
that was a problem. But I think if we just put like Son and some like Højbjerg and some other players from the A team, I think we can easily win in London.
Yeah, I have to say I agree. I think since it was the away leg first, I think we didn't want to take too many of our stars away so that they could just prep for the game against Wolves, which we'll get to in a minute. But I think overall, that wasn't an awful result. I mean, I know we lost and it was an abysmal performance, but the fact that we're only 1-0 down and in the second leg, we can bring in Son or Lucas or Bergwijn, who can really flip the script and get us back into where we want to be and qualify for the group stages, which is kind of ridiculous that we're even talking about the fact
honestly,
that we might not. But Max, what do you think about the game?
I guess it wasn't great having a few like inexperienced players in there. Like I know we had a few players who I guess who experienced and stuff, but like I know we got a second leg, but to be honest, I don't care if it just like at the same time, I don't care if we're still in the tie or not. That was like shocking to say the least. I mean, to be honest, the only positive I can take out of that game is that Brian Hill looked promising. That was pretty much it. I watched the game from the 12th minute on, and pretty much the whole game, all I was watching was Pacos coming forward, us getting the ball back and launching it up to Dane Scarlett, who's not very agile in the air at all. I guess from what I saw from the game, Pacos are a very physical side, just like Wolves were today. I've got some big defenders, but what they kept doing was just launching the ball up to him. It just doesn't work. It was a very poor performance. I mean, thankfully we had the second leg, but at the same time, regardless of whether we're still in the tie, it was embarrassing to say the least.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
For the second leg, I think they might do the same squad, to be honest.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll see quite a few more first team stars. But Bodhi, I'm going to come to you next. We've seen a lot of people say after the game, looking at the score and looking at the players that we used, that it would be better off for us just to get knocked out now and not have to worry about it. Would you rather us, put in a stronger squad in the next leg and progress into the knockout stages, or just kind of put out the same team and fall out of it?
You want to go to the knockout? Realistically, it's our only chance of winning a trophy this season. So if you want any sort of success, if Spurs fans really want a trophy, they'll want us to stay in it. If not, if they want us to just still stay through the rebuild phase, then sure, knock yourself out on purpose. But you have to understand the fact that not only will you be throwing away any opportunity of a trophy, which we are favourites to win, but we will become a laughing stock. Like, it would be worse than Colchester.
Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, how many of us were really embarrassed after that? Yeah, Charles, we'll go to you. Charles.
Well, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that's a bit of an over-exaggeration. That would be, yes, obviously, the down part of losing is, that we get bantered by the rival fans and all. But at the same time, clearly Nuno really doesn't care about this competition, and neither do the players. I want us to stay in it because it's the only thing that we can win, really. But it is a lot of games, and I'm starting to think, is it really worth it? Because Nuno clearly doesn't care about it. In the press conference, you can tell. But I have a lot to say about the game as well. So I thought, it was a pretty shambolic performance in all ways possible. We did so much wrong. I think Nuno tactically, we were a bit too confident, because Pacos are not a bad side. I'd say they're quality of an average championship side. You can't be a bad side if you finish 5th in the league, where you got Porto, Sporting, Braga, Benfica. They can't be bad. So I think we underestimated them a bit.
I agree.
And also I agree with Alfred when he said the bench. When you play these kind of games, you've got to have Son on the bench, or some big gun that you can bring on if you're not doing well, But I did think Jill on the start at least looked very quick, like really quick on the ball, and he kind of got slower over time. But I thought Jill and also Sessegnon in moments was pretty good. But really, except for that, I feel sorry for Scarlett, because the support he was getting just didn't make any sense, as Max said. Like he just wasn't in the right place at the right time, really. But I'm confident in the second leg that we'll probably just bring Son and Kane, and we'll put a bit stronger 11, and then and then we'll bring on like Son or Kane or something, and we'll hopefully we'll win, because I think we play Dynamo Moscow next, so if we lose to them, it won't be as bad as losing to Pacos. So at least we won't be as bantered.
I think after this game we go straight to the group stages. No.
Did you not see how much they took the piss out of us after we lost our first leg?
But that doesn't matter, really. You got to be like, Arsenal fans can't say anything anymore, to be honest. And Chelsea is so far ahead of us, I honestly don't care what they say anymore.
That is true facts there, Charles. Arsenal can't say anything.
Yeah, they're just saying all the time, oh yeah, we are the biggest club in London. We're the biggest club in London, but you be big, we be good instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the relegation zone right now, so they can't say too much.
They're so bad.
You just gotta love it. You gotta love it.
But going back to the Pacos game, I think for us a lot of the problems were in midfield, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to this player, but what is Harry Winks good at? Does anyone know? Like, what does he do well?
I was thinking about this before. Yeah, he's
Great
got absolutely
motivation.
I guess in his prime, he was pretty good at moving the ball forward in the pitch, but like not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm just saying. Harry Winks could be 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he would still pass. He would still do it.
Well, Well,
you hate Harry Winks, don't you, Max?
What?
You hate Harry Winks.
Oh yeah, I hate him, mate.
It's just I don't see what Harry Winks does for us that like Niall John doesn't. But Bodhi, what are your thoughts on number 8?
Okay, so obviously he's the best in the world. No, seriously though, he is terrible. He is dreadful.
Don't say that.
When he's on the pitch, he feels like a pitch invader just trying to kick the ball about. It's just it's pretty woeful. He's not great. But we definitely need to get him sold. If it wasn't for homegrown, I think Nuno would have had him gone in a heartbeat. But
I think the fact that he's from the academy and from England is the only thing that's keeping him from being on the transfer list. But I mean, seriously, like I don't see what he offers that Niall John doesn't. Like I'd rather see Niall John in the first team.
Well, the thing with Winks is, I'm guilty of this, but he used to be one of my favorite players. But this I'm talking like 3 years ago when he was actually pretty decent. I thought he'd, back then I thought that he'd be like Skip is now. I thought he'd be, he'd be a future captain and everything. And I actually looking back, I don't know why people rated him before either. He's never really offered that much, even before.
To be fair, before he did boss Toni Kroos and Luka Modric in the Bernabeu, so
he
did have that
Real
one
Madrid game. But yeah. Also, I saw the thing with Winks is like in the reports it says that Winks is very happy to stay at the club and not go to like Everton and that. Why is it his decision? Why is it his decision to stay at the club? Why don't we just bloody sell him? I don't understand. Why is it his decision at all? He's nowhere near good enough quality. The guy gets bossed by MK Dons and Pakosh midfielders. It's like he's fallen 4 leagues down in quality. I don't know what. Like, honestly, I do not see anything good about this guy. Like, we should have sold him to Man U or Everton when we had the chance, man.
Or Man City last January when they wanted to bid £40 million for him.
I think that was fake, but
Whenever I watch Winks play, it's like I'm watching 12 against 10. It's like his role is to slow the game down. It's like I'm watching 12 against 10. And in my opinion, like it's one of the biggest downfalls I've seen in a long time. I mean, 3 years ago, like Charles said, he was one of my favourite players. And I'm just saying, I always remember this. So my dad got home from the 3-1 win against Real Madrid at Wembley. And he said to me, Winks is the English Iniesta.
Yeah. It seems so long ago.
We're now here 3 years later saying, oh yeah, he's shit. He's not League One quality. Like one of the biggest downfalls. And like I said before, already, it's like watching 12 against 10 when he's on the field because his role is to slow the game down.
Yeah.
And
and there is a way to slow the game down that works and like bringing it to your tempo and dictating the game, similar to like, Pirlo maybe. But the way he slows the game down is just, it doesn't benefit us. It really just, we're playing on the counter. I think the issue with Winks is he does like to slow the game down, but the way Nuno's having us play right now is to counter quickly. And so when he gets on the ball, he kills that counter and then the other team has time to organize and it doesn't work out for us. But Louis, what do you want to say about Harold Winks?
They will remember when Ryan Mason got put in charge. The only reason Ryan Mason played Winks is because Winks is like a Ryan Mason 2.0.
Ryan Mason regen.
But bad.
Exactly. Ryan Mason and Winks, and you could argue Scott Parker, but Scott Parker was better than both of them.
No. I've got a fact. I've got a fact here. All 3 of those players wore the number 8 for Tottenham.
Wow. All right, Charles, continue.
But yeah, Ryan Mason and Winks, they're just so bang average. Like it's just
I take Ryan Mason in our midfield right now.
Possibly
even with the way his head
Winks is now bad. He's not even average. But I mean, I'd rather him be on the bench than Winks, to be honest. I'm sure he can. But yeah, can we just appreciate the fact that Ronaldo is considering moving to us from
that's
Juventus.
Well,
such
it's not true.
that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna
Paratici
happen.
masterclass.
There's so many
It's
reasons
cap.
that won't happen. We're in the Conference League. His wages are more than everyone else's combined.
Let us believe.
No.
Today is to
It's
dream.
one of these. It's one of these.
Imagine Ronaldo.
Louis
in
holding
the
a
Conference
cap
League.
for the listeners.
It's one of these. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
a Tottenham cap by the way.
When's the Ronaldo kit swap, Charles?
Oh, also, they just asked Lukaku in an interview. They just asked Lukaku in an interview. The woman asked Lukaku. She said the Arsenal fans were chanting Lukaku, chanting and saying, why didn't Lukaku go to them? And he just said, no, no. he was disgusted.
He was like,
Yeah.
no, I would never.
Arsenal really is done. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Beautiful, to be honest. Arsenal getting rejected left and right, and still in the relegation zone.
I'm thinking they are.
They're such a Arsenal copycats. They copied our documentary.
I mean, Amazon
we
just decides who gets those, but because I mean, by that logic, we copied Man City with the documentary, but
Man City have got a new documentary on YouTube as well.
but yeah, I think we've covered quite a bit of the Pacos game. So let's move on to the Wolves game today. It kind of reminded me of the Mourinho days, which isn't great, but we got the win. So what do you guys think about the Wolves game? We'll start with Alfred. What do you think, Alfred?
I think there was like 4 standout players here. First of all, Lloris. Most of the games in the whole in
Lloris,
history of club now, or Premier League club games, that's very good by him, and he had a really good game.
Yeah.
Such crucial saves, especially the Adama Traoré save when he was free 1-on-1.
Yeah, that was quite a good save.
Although it was Adama Traoré, he doesn't score.
No.
It's
Adama
also
Traoré is so interesting.
yeah. I would say Dyer and Sanchez had a very good game as well. Maybe not Dyer, but Sanchez was really good. Dyer was good, but he had like 1 or 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
One of them led to the Adama Traoré chance when Dyer just, for some reason, was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start dribbling here."
Yeah.
You know what? I'm really rating Sanchez at the minute. It's
me
weird.
too.
I remember a few months ago, I was like, "Get him out,
oh my
get him
God.
out."
No, wait, no. Let me stop you there, Bodhi.
Sure. No.
When you were slamming me for saying that, I thought when I said I think Sanchez still has. Oh, I can't believe this is actually happening. When I was saying that I still believe Sanchez has the quality, but he just needs to get rid of his mistakes. And you were saying that he will never be a good player, and that he's the biggest waste of money that we've ever. Maybe this will backtrack and he'll be awful again. But if he actually becomes a good player now, I will always remind you of this.
Well, you know what? Fair enough. I can't say anything about that, but I know it's good. I never thought Sanchez would end up fixing up those mistakes. I just thought the pressure of the Premier League, he wouldn't have enough. He just not enough time on the ball to do what he wants, and then he's just these past few games he's been good. It's weird, but obviously I don't like to be right about stuff if a player's bad, but so if he does well, I'm not going to be complaining, but yeah, it'll definitely be.
Maybe the rumors are true that he found new confidence going to semi-final with Colombia in the Copa America, which is weird, but it was rumored like that.
That's a good point. Is back before the season started, there were some reports that Sanchez was like feeling more confident and composed after the Copa America, which I mean seems like it's working so far. I mean, he did have a couple mistakes in the game today, I thought, but overall he was really solid, and his mistakes weren't the typical Sanchez mistakes that we're used to, where like he ends up giving a through ball to like Adama Traoré or something like that. But overall, I thought he was pretty solid today. So, but Max, what do you think?
What mistakes did he make?
Oh,
what
never mind.
Sorry, what mistakes did he make? Just real quick.
What mistakes did Sanchez make?
Yeah, I didn't notice any.
There was one where he was holding, I think it was Adama Traoré on the byline, and he just turned around basically past Sanchez, and the other one was it was like a through ball to Adama Traore, I think, and Sanchez went to like slide and clear it, and he whiffed it, and it went through. But those are the only two I can think
I
of.
remember that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he struggled a bit with the Traore basically.
I mean, Traore is a freaking monster. He's so strong on the ball. He's so quick. He's fairly good at dribbling. It's just we're so lucky that he's absolutely awful at shooting, and he's absolutely awful at finding like that final pass. I mean,
Well,
I've seen us linked with him, but hold on one second. Let me just finish this thought. I've seen that we were linked with like a loan move for him, and to be honest, I don't think that's a great idea. If we're going to be bringing in another attacker, it should be someone who can score goals. We already have Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn, who are very quick, very pacey, are good dribblers, but can't score goals. So we don't need another winger who can't score goals. So yeah, I just, he's such an interesting player.
Yeah,
the way he works. But
I gotta say, I'll discuss this game a bit more, but about Traore, like Traore, we make him look so good every time. Like he's so average against every other team in the league, but when he plays against us, we back off him, and then we give him so much space, and he's so dangerous against us. I don't know why we let him do this to us, to be honest. I mean, we don't let him. I know he's a force of nature. He's an absolute beast. But when I'm watching Wolves against other teams, it's never the same. Like it's something about us that he's always on top form against us. And
well, I think that's just the curse of Tottenham.
Yeah. Well, I'd say Wolves are our bogey team. I'd say it's never easy against Wolves for us. It's never a straightforward game, and that's why I'm really happy.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'm agree with going here.
And Brighton. I'm going to say Brighton as well. It's never easy against Brighton for us either. But talking about Wolves, that's why I'm happy with today's win, because it's never easy going to the Molineux, and I know it was. I did notice it was very Mourinho-esque, but you know what the difference was? We went 1-0 down and then defended quite a lot, but we brought on attackers when we were 1-0 down in the 70th minute. Jose would never bring on Lo Celso and Kane in that situation. That's what I really liked. And it wasn't. I mean, you got to trust Nuno in this situation. I know it's very defensive, but it's his old club. I mean, he must know what he's doing. And at the end, it paid off. It wasn't the most beautiful game to watch, but the defense did its job. Wolves played like a back five, and it was really hard to close down. But yeah, we did the job. And also, one player I was really impressed by, who was my man of the match. I know Lloris was great as well, but Dele Alli.
I agree.
He's not his attacking work, but his defensive work. He put his body on the line so much, and he kept running back. And honestly, without him, we would have really got better today. Some of the stuff he did really helped. And also, I thought Bergwijn was really good. I just really want the guy to score. That shot that he had was fantastic, and that skill at the end. I mean, if Bergwijn just gets slightly more clinical, he's going to be one of the best wingers in the league.
I mean, that dribble down the left-hand side, and then he laid it off to Kane was beautiful. And then Kane had to go and ruin it. But just overall,
Kane was
Bergwijn
offside.
had his best game in a year. Bergwijn his best game in a year.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I think Bergwijn is starting to show that he's a little more confident. 2 goal contributions in his last 4 games in the Premier League. Or I guess 2 goal contributions in his last 4 games, just past 4 games as well, and then also past 4 Premier League games. But I think he's starting to show, like I was saying, a little bit more confidence. And when Bergwijn is a confident player, like once he gets there, I am convinced he's going to be world class. Because you look at the goals he scored. I've said this before, but you look at the goals he scored. The one he scored against Man United, dribbling around Maguire, that was incredible. The goal he scored against City, beautiful touch, beautiful finish. The goal he scored against Aston Villa, bodying off, I think it was Mings maybe, or Konsa. But both of those guys are very big, very strong. And to volley at top corner. And then the goal against Chelsea, I mean, I know it was only preseason, but it was a pretty solid goal, dribbling past Chalobah. So he has all of the attributes to be a top player. It's just he doesn't seem confident at all in himself. So hopefully he shows a little bit more of that this coming season.
I really trust. Can we just say, and I know this, but I thought Lucas was pretty poor today. I mean, I'm not going to judge him or anything, but Like he just kept losing the ball. It was pretty frustrating. But what did you guys think of Kane? Because I was actually pretty impressed when he came on. It was like I thought he'd be a bit slower than usual, but he looked pretty much himself, like where he left off last season. I mean What do you guys think?
Personally, I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was bad, but I didn't think he was like phenomenal by any means. But Bodhi, what do you think about Kane's performance today?
Yeah.
Well, what's there to talk about really? He played for about 15 minutes, did essentially nothing except get a yellow for time wasting. And then missed a very good chance. If Son, I think even Bergwijn.
Well, he was spotted after the game.
Sorry, what?
Oh, it was offside, guys. I don't know how no one's noticed this. He was offside anyway.
It doesn't matter. He had a one-on-one with the keeper, and he missed.
Spotted. Doesn't matter. Bloody hell.
Oh come on! It was a good save. I mean, come on.
Offside or not?
It was a good. Okay, it was Harry Kane one-on-one. He scores that every time. That was poor from him.
Yeah. I know what happens. It's not all to do. Yeah, okay, it wasn't the best shot, I admit. But he was spotted in the bus on Delhi's live. He was alone. No one was sitting with him.
I can't say I'm surprised.
I mean, sad actually.
Yeah. Did you see that Yamatonga was in it and he got annoyed at Stevie because Stevie had stolen his seat because that's the seat Yam has sat on for since he had been at the club.
Yeah. Getting back to the Wolves game though, another player I was quite impressed with today was Højbjerg. I thought he was pretty class again, winning the ball back quite a bit, interceptions and all that. And Reguilon as well. I thought he got quite a few interceptions moving forward.
I totally agree. The thing that I liked about Højbjerg today is there were some situations where he got a bad pass from, I don't know, Sanchez or Skip or Ali, and there were like a few players that were just like running into him and trying to win the ball, and then he dealt with it so coolly in situations under pressure, and just went away with the ball, which really impressed me. And also, if I'm sure some of you saw that skill at the end where he nutmegged the defender and then tried to go with a Trivela shot. I mean, that was pretty interesting. And also, you mentioned Reguilon. That was one of his best performances in the Spurs shirt for me. He was just really good in defense. Yeah, Adama got past him a few times at the end, but there's nothing you could do about it when Adama's up against you, really, sometimes.
Yeah.
But a few times Reguilon saved our asses when he was running for the ball and just got to it before the attacker and really saved us a few times. So I must say, top class performance from Reggie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought he was fantastic today. I thought Tanganga was a little more quiet today, but I think that was mostly just to do with the fact that he couldn't steamroll Adama like he steamrolled Sterling and Grealish. Adama doesn't give up the ball so easily.
I'll tell you what is right. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but did anyone notice how Højbjerg and Skip switched places? Like against City, Højbjerg was in the middle and Skip was out on the right with Tanganga, and this time it was reversed. I think that was a bad move on Nuno's part because it felt like when you saw the defense, when you saw from the midfield, Moutinho or Neves was on the ball, you saw ahead of you saw a dysfunctional 4-3-3 that looked like it was mixing between like a 4-1-1-1-3, and it looked out of place. Whereas when you watch City, it was compact, it was tight, it was strict, and it looked like you would look at the team and think, okay, yeah, they're playing 4-3-3, but I think Skip's aggression. I think if Skip was playing on the right with Skip's aggression and Tanganga and they were covering for each other, I think the game would have went a lot differently defensively. And I think Skip and Tanganga would have been the star players again. I think
that's well noticed. And also what I noticed with Skip and Højbjerg, which I thought was the biggest fault in today's game. There were moments when we were defending where Skip and Højbjerg went so far back that they were almost centre backs with Star and Sanchez, and then literally gave so much space for Wolves midfield just to run into us. It was really frustrating at moments. So I thought if they could just be a bit more forward, we would have had more control of the midfield, because there are some moments where Wolves are literally dominating. Like, I don't, but hopefully, we've got Watford next. I mean, after Pacos, and I'm pretty confident. I mean, I feel like Delhi will have a good game against Watford. He always does well against Watford. So yeah, I think we should have more freedom against Watford. And also, what I noticed is when Lo Celso came on, I don't know if we should sometimes maybe start Lo Celso instead of Skip. Maybe I know Skip and Højbjerg is a great duo, or instead of Ali. But I thought Lo Celso adds a lot more fluidity in midfield with one-touch passing and stuff.
I think when we play teams like Watford, totally blanked on what I was going to say. I think when we play teams like Watford, Lo Celso will get the start. It's just, I think when we're playing teams like Manchester City, and in this case Wolves, I think purely because of Adama Traore, Skip got the start.
Yeah.
Just for like the extra defensive coverage. But when we play teams like Watford, like just got promoted from the Championship, or teams like Norwich or Crystal Palace, maybe even, I think we'll see Lo Celso, Dele, and Højbjerg. But is there any other topics you guys want to cover for the Wolves game?
We should also discuss.
There is something I'd like to cover.
Yeah, but you go ahead.
I'd like to suggest on why I think we should sign Adama Traore, if that's all right.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think with how Nuno was playing with the really fast-paced counterattack, and something I noticed from the difference between Wolves and City is Lucas Moura makes such a huge difference. If he's playing well, the team is so fluid, and he was able to get out so many tight spots against City. But then Wolves, he lost the ball so much. And what I'm trying to pitch here is, with Adama's speed, you have a backup out ball to expose if Lucas isn't playing well. You take him off, put on Adama, and then that's like you have defense just shivering in the 60th minute when they're knackered. They're barely managing to hold more, and then you have Adama, fresh legs coming on, absolutely disrupting their defense. And if they end up playing deeper because of them coming on, that's great. You get more time. Stick on the Celso.
Don't get me wrong. I totally agree with you, but I just don't think he's priority right now. I would sign him if we already had a pretty, had
complete squad,
all our signings sorted and stuff. But right now, really, what we're prioritizing is a replacement for Ndombele, because it looks like he's definitely leaving now. I don't think he can come back from it.
Well, I mean, honestly, we should be prioritizing a center back.
Well, centre back and then Ndombele.
If we sell Ndombele,
yeah, I'd like to talk a bit about Ndombele, because it is
not
pretty
yet.
sad,
Hold on, I still want to talk about the Adama Traore thing really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I do agree with you, Bodhi. I mean, if we could just have Adama Traore on our bench, like that would be amazing. But the Wolves asking price for him, that was in the news that I saw, was £40 million, and we are not a club that spends £40 million for a player to come off the bench. So I don't think it's realistic necessarily. But if we could sign him for 20 million or 25 million or less, I would take it.
That's why we're not a top team, because top teams spend that money to strengthen the bench. That's why when you saw us against Pacos, was it what they're called? That's why when you saw our second team out, we were horrendous. Our second team are a bunch of 20 million euro players at best. Like, obviously you have Gill and all, but they're still getting into the squad. But players that are already playing that are playing in our second team, they're 20 million euros at best. Players like Adama, players that you've signed for 30, 40 million euros to have on the bench, those are the top teams sign those types of players. If you want to be challenging for Champions League top 3, you need to sign those types of players to be playing on the bench in the second team, because that's the only way we're really going to progress.
I disagree with that. I don't think that's the only way you can progress. I think Leicester have shown that smart recruitment can get you up to the top of the table. And if you don't bottle it like they do, you can get top 4. But we're not a team. Hold on. Let me finish. We're not a team that can afford 40 million people on the bench, because we have bigger problems in our starting 11. Dyer and Sanchez, they're doing good right now, but I have no faith that they'll be able to keep this up for an entire season. 40 million, I'd rather spend that on a center back or a right back or another center mid if Dombele is leaving, or a winger. I mean, we have so many more issues in the squad, I think, than signing a player to come off the bench. I think we could improve on Lucas Moura for 40 million. I think Rafinha from Leeds would be a fantastic signing. But Max, what do you think about Adama Traore?
Can I just say, is Adama really that big?
Let Max go.
Oh, sorry, what was the question again?
What are your thoughts on Adama Traore, and would you sign him if you could? 30 to 40 million would be the asking price from Wolves.
No, I wouldn't sign him because he's just a bulked up Steven Bergwijn. Just can't finish the play of his life. I mean, to be honest, great player, excellent dribbler of the ball, strong, agile, wins headers. So he's literally overall, Traore, like, brilliant on the ball, but no end product. As I said, he's basically Bergwijn with baby oil. It's basically how it is.
Yeah.
I'll probably pay like 20 mil max for him. But,
yeah, I agree.
But at the same time, like, I wouldn't take him. Like, we've got Lucas Moura. I'll stick with him. Brian Hill.
20 mil.
Yeah, 20 mil. He's got no end product. He's a bulked up Bergwijn. Simple as that. We signed Bergwijn 23 mil. He's the same player. He's the same player. He's just stronger. That's it. But yeah,
everything.
I'm sorry.
I said.
I'm sorry, but how is Adama Traore an upgrade on Lucas Moura? He's big, he's strong, he intimidates defenses, but he's not got more skill than Lucas. I'm going to be totally honest with you. He's not.
I feel like we've been talking about Adama Traore for quite a bit. We talked about him quite a bit, and he hasn't been linked by many people. So let's move on here to the Tanguy Ndombele situation. Alfred, we can start with you here. Would you sell him if he wants to go?
First of all, I think it's really sad. I really wanted him to work out. He was such a great player in the French league.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really watch it, but what I've heard. And yeah, I wanted him to work out, but now if he doesn't want to stay, we have to sell him. And apparently quite a few clubs want to pay for him as well. Like, not maybe 60 million, but like 45 million euros.
It's sad for me because I got a Ndombele top when in the 2019-2020 season when he first signed. So that's a bit of a waste of money. Well, it is a good memento of his first season in the club.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I agree that it's pretty sad. I think he's such a talented player, and wherever he goes, I have a feeling he's going to be one of the best players in the league.
Unless he doesn't go to Premier League again.
Yeah, if he goes anywhere else except the Premier League, I think he'll be one of the best players in the league.
Definitely.
If he stays in the Premier League, I think he'll still be pretty solid. But yeah, I just think overall with him, if he wants to go, I think we have to sell him. I think Nuno's made a point of saying that his job here is to prepare players to play for Spurs, not to make them want to play for Spurs. I think we have to have people who are here, who want to be here, who are ready to fight and work and get to the top of the table, or not like necessarily first place, but just getting towards the top of the table and getting closer and just improving. But Charles, what are your thoughts on Ndombele, and would you sell him?
Well, for me, it's really sad because he was honestly one of my favorite players. And when it comes to me praising him, there was moments when I was saying that he is the best midfielder in the Prem, or that he will definitely become the best midfielder in the Prem. And I was always defending even when he had pretty lazy game and stuff. But I mean, I think he's the most disrespectful piece of crap I've ever seen. We paid 50 million for the guy. He's been literally, his legs are made of glass, and this is the third time he's wanted to leave the club since joining. What have we done wrong to the guy? There have been reports that he would rather go back to Lyon than stay at Spurs, like in the swap deal with Aouar, which I would take. But why would he rather play for Lyon, who aren't even in the Champions League either? But it just makes no sense to me. I don't know what his problem is. I know
I think-
Aurier and Sissoko are leaving,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, but to be fair, like on that point, people say like, "Oh, his friends are leaving," but mate, you're a professional footballer. Like
yeah, I know that's
you're
what I'm
getting
saying.
paid
He's the least
£200,000
professional I've ever seen.
a week. £200,000 per week.
Is it that
That's
much?
more than-
Oh my word!
Yeah, that's more than most people make in probably 3 or 4, 5, 6 years. And he's getting that every single week to play for this club. And he keeps wanting to leave. I love him. And if he stayed, I would totally back him. But I don't think he's showing enough motivation to be here. Bodhi, what are your thoughts on the situation?
On the ball, he's next level.
Mhm.
You know, his passing, his dribbling, it's top quality. It's Premier League quality. It's a winning team's quality, but his mentality, his work rate, it's so lackluster. If Jose stayed a little longer, I reckon Ndombele would be in a lot better shape at the minute than what he currently is. But the fact that Jose left, he just this is the thing, right? If you want to leave that bad, because like this is what it said, he wanted to leave because Musa Sissoko and Serge Aurier are likely to leave. If you really want to leave that bad, and the only thing that's making you makes you want to stay is your teammates, then why are you here in the first place? It's for you to grow as a player, to win trophies with your team, and it's not about I'm not going to go to a different school because my friends go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
like honestly, if that's his
I'm
mentality,
not going to talk much. I just need to say one sentence. Yeah, I just wanted to say the thing about Sissoko and Aurier. At least if his two friends were good footballers, like at least if his two best friends were Kane and Son and they were leaving, totally understandable. But Sissoko and Aurier, I mean, come on, mate. You should be happy that they're leaving, mate. I mean, I just don't understand.
Mhm. I do think he's one of the most talented footballers that Tottenham has probably ever seen, but I just don't think the motivation is there. And like I said earlier, you have to have people that are in the club who want to be there and who are willing to fight for it. But at the same time, you also have to have some talented players that can take you to the next level. So it's all about finding that right balance. And I think it's pretty obvious that we need to sign a midfielder before the window closes. If Ndombele wants out, we still have Winks. We still have Sissoko. So like right now, I'd say our only midfield options are Skip, Højbjerg, Dele, and Lo Celso. And if we're going to be playing with 3 center mids throughout the season, then that's just not quite going to cut it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the remaining week has in store for us. Daniel Levy likes a deadline day deal, so I wouldn't be surprised for a couple of those to end up happening. But yeah, any other topics anyone wants to cover before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Can I just remember what I was going to say real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
If you have that sort of mentality and you want to leave a club because your friends are leaving, you have to understand you're a professional footballer who's earning 200,000 a week while people are starving on the streets. Like, you are earning too much as it is, realistically. But the fact that he's earning that much just to be not even playing, it's like, and then for you to want to leave because your friends are leaving, it makes you question it. You make you think, okay, yeah, well, I'm not even gonna lie, right? If he's just gonna become overweight and slobby and then he's just gonna force his way, I'd rather Winks stay. I'm not saying that's like, you'd want someone that's gonna play for the badge, whether they're good or not. And if we're able to get our plus some cash, or Weston McKennie, one or the other, because that's the talk really, Weston McKennie or our, if you can get one or the other for plus cash, see you later, Ndombele. Who needs you? I mean, those two are better players than Ndombele is right now. So
yeah,
I'd be happy to see him leave if you get a good sum for him, even if he wasn't all right, because they're better than him. But the fact that he wants to leave because of his friends and all, that's just an extra that's just extra for you to think, okay, yeah, see you later then. So
Yeah.
I hope if he does stay, I hope he succeeds. But with him not being in Nuno's plans and him wanting to leave, I think he'll be gone by the end of the window, along with Sissoko. I think Winks will end up staying, and we'll sign a midfielder, maybe Weston McKennie, Awa, or that Sarr.
Yeah, I think we're gonna sign Sarr, but it looks like he's gonna go back on loan to Metz. And he looks like he's gonna be quite a good player. So I'll be interested to see if he plays for us next season. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Talking about McKennie, I must say I'd prefer him over Awa actually. So I've watched him for Juventus in a few games, and he was absolutely immense, especially in big games like against Barcelona. He's a really good box-to-box midfielder, and he's very consistent and young. And I'm sure Tobey knows. You know a lot about him. He's plays for the USA, and I just think he'd be a really good addition to the squad, and he always gives his 100% as well. So yeah, I think he'd be a really good addition, along with Pepe Sarr, who looks like we're going to sign him. But yeah, we can talk about that another time.
I agree. I agree with you though. McKinney's quite a player. I think he'd be a great signing for us. But that is all we have for you today. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're trying to hit 300 before the end of September, so go hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. If you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Only if it's 5 stars though. And if you're listening to it on Spotify, I don't think there's anything you can do. So we appreciate you. But or any other streaming service. But that is pretty much all we have for you today. Like I said, remember to follow us on Twitter and on Insta. It's @OneHotspurPod. We love you all, and we'll catch you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.